And we are live. How about it?
Ben, how you doing?
Good, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Appreciate you
Yeah.
letting me kind of sit in with you here. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
no, this is great. This is great. So for those of you just kind of logging on right now, today I have Brandon Martin with me. He is from AMT, and AMT is American Music Theater,
We are.
right? So to us, that AMT is that local brand that everybody kind of just knows the business by, and but it's a pretty large operation, as far as the reach it gets. So start off, tell me, obviously I know who you are. Tell folks who you are, or what you do with AMT.
Sure. Yeah, so I'm the director of operations here. AMT is a family business. My father started the theater here along with two other local partners, friends of his, in 1996.
Okay.
As he will freely admit, they did their due diligence on building a theater, and then they did it anyway. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I was probably six. I was about 15 or 16 when the theater opened, and this is where I worked back then.
Yeah.
I'd get out of school early and come here, and I was a stage crew guy working here. The theater was initially opened to be kind of a Branson, Missouri style or Carolina Opry style theater, doing musical reviews. Probably wasn't more than a year or two into it that I think a promoter or an agent reached out, I think from the Statler brothers. I was like, hey, do you ever think about putting a concert in there? That could work really well. And I said, well, we'll try it. And that went great. So they did it again and again and again. And which brings us to today, where we still produce and promote our own in-house Christmas show, which runs November and December of each year. But 10 months out of the year, we are a concert venue. So kind of dual facets of the business there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why Lancaster? I mean, that's a. Are you from here? Is the family from here?
Yeah. Born and raised. My dad as well. Born and raised in Lancaster here. So this is just where we were. My father owned he started a wholesale produce business in Bird in Hand, just down the road. Did that through much of my youth, and eventually sold that business and kind of thought, what next? And
that's a pretty big leap.
It's a crazy leap. It's wild. I mean, because I recall that time, when kind of looking at what could we do next, and it was everything from like batting cages to a music theater. I'm like,
batting cages, a music theater. Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's pretty amazing, though. If people haven't been there before, it's how big? How much seating? 16.
Yeah, so we're 1607.
1607
is our official seating capacity.
Okay.
If you're familiar with our profit margins at all, those extra 7 seats represent that.
That's the profit, right?
It's tight.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. But it's a beautiful theater. I mean, it really is.
Thank you.
I could see. Obviously, I've seen many shows there, and the parking's convenient. It's it's just a pretty location, and so that's super cool. But over time, I mean, this involvement is pretty significant. Like, did it like go from like overnight? First off, how did you get your own production? Like, you decided we're gonna start putting on shows. Who said, hey, look, I know a show?
Yeah. Early on, boy, it was a cornucopia of talent. Kind of brought in. Somebody knew an artistic director, who knew a choreographer, who knew a stage manager, and I tell you what, I was just watching the movie Sing and like Sing 2 with my kids the other night.
Yeah, I like this. Yeah,
those headaches are for real. Like, because it was like that. It was really like that for my goodness, probably 15 years of continually growing, but it took a while. A lot of lessons learned the hard way, trial and error, until I think we really, and I say we, this was primarily my dad, especially in the early years, but kind of found the groove, and here we are. It's been good, all things considered, the past couple of years. Yeah.
It's good, man. So obviously, I don't know if you've heard, we've had this COVID thing going on for the last couple of years.
I saw something on the news. Yeah.
Was it like in the second story, third story, or something like that? Yeah. So obviously you guys got hit. Like what happened? I mean, as far as you go, and music venues in general.
Yeah. I mean, the industry as a whole was hit about as hard as you could have been hit by something like this. It was almost an unimaginable thing that, how could we plan for it?
Yeah.
How can you plan being shut down for a year and a half? I mean, doors.
Is that how long it was for you? Really?
Yeah, about that. 15 months, I think, is what we were completely closed up for. I remember, I'll never forget the day. A lot of people remember us kind of easing into COVID perhaps, but man, it hit like a ton of bricks all in one day for us. And I guess going back to like January of 2020, the buzz started ramping up a bit. People were talking about this, like, is it going to get big in the US? Is it just going to be like SARS, whatever? So we had some contingency plans in place. We'd met at the executive level on this.
Yeah.
Kind of what would we do, and who knew how long it would be if it did hit, and answered questions, obviously. It was March 12th of 2020. Martina McBride, country artist, was here. She had a show that night planned. And it was that afternoon. She was set up. In fact, she was on stage sound checking with the band. We were fully loaded in, fully set up. I think some people had even started showing up early because
of course,
do that sometimes. But it's like 4:00 in the afternoon when Governor Wolf put out the word.
So that's how it really went down. So
we're shutting down venue, concerts, festivals, fairs, whatever, indoor gatherings over a certain limit. That's kind of how that happened. I remember.
Now, how did the acts take it? Like the music, the talents, how did they take it? Were they was like, okay, we're pulling out too, or were some of these trying to be like, oh, let's go for it? I mean,
there was a lot of uncertainty. You had you had the promoter, which would have been us. You had the artist, and then artist representation. So everyone's trying to make the best decisions, I think, for themselves and for the people they represent.
Yeah, I can see that.
The agent represents the artist represents himself. We represent our patrons. And everybody, I can say across the board, wanted to make the right decision. However, there's obvious implications when you do something as drastic as pull a whole tour off the road or cancel one show. But in meeting with her folks and her and discussing internally, there was really no other option. At that point, if you can remember, COVID was a thing we just didn't know much about. How serious was it? What was it going to become? So I think everyone kind of went on the side of caution, and out of abundance of caution, that show was brought down. And initially it was 2 weeks. Like we're doing this for 2 weeks. Things are going to need to close down for a bit, and that in and of itself was crazy. That sounded crazy. Like we had
2 weeks shutdown. Yeah, exactly.
That's I think we had like 10 shows booked over those 2 weeks.
Wow, it's a big animal.
We had canceled shows in the past for illness or whatever weather. So we knew the drill, but we'd never done anything to that scale of bringing 2 weeks worth of shows down all in one fell swoop. So
yeah,
it's funny in retrospect how big of a mountain that seemed like, and we had no idea what we were actually standing at the foot of in terms of closure.
Yeah.
So that 2 weeks obviously turned into a month, turned into 2 months, turned into that whole summer.
So on and so forth. Yeah. So let's talk more positive, obviously, right? Because you got shows going now.
We do. We actually reopened June 30th of 2021. Obviously with some additional protocol and policy in place.
Yeah.
But I mean, it felt like a finish line that we crossed just in reopening. It wasn't quite as cut and dry as, bam, we're back. Here we go. Obviously, that duration of closure puts a lot of kinks in the chain. So,
well, even just operational from the inside, right? So we're not even talking just like turn the switch back on. It's like getting the people back to turn the switch back on.
Yeah. It felt and still feels like a bit of a monumental task to kind of get all the wheels turning again.
In the right direction.
In the right direction, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Just the processes and just from an operations standpoint, it's a lot. It's a big animal.
So how about the musicians? Were they just now banging on your door like they're open? Let's try to get it booked in. Where everyone's just trying to squeeze their act in now. I mean,
early on, I think everybody, both the consumer and the artists, got real sick of virtual concerts real quick.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
It was great. And it was a beautiful thing, especially, to see a lot of entities come together and produce and promote these virtual shows, because that's all we could do. Like, what else are you going to do? And that was really cool. But it left people just reminded of how much they love the live entertainment experience.
You can't replace it.
You just can't replicate it. And so I'd say early on there was kind of a groundswell of acts wanting to hit the road. Sadly, not as many venues to play in. Just because not everyone weathered the storm. Unfortunately, it's tragic. But it wasn't running through the tape, and all of a sudden here we are again, with the follow-on variants and just the constant churning of concern and fears. Lack of consumer confidence and just going out again. It wasn't kind of this, running back out into the open.
Because in my mind, I'm thinking, you get your choice of acts, right? Because then you could say, okay, well, this act's produced better than these acts, so we're gonna try to get them in first because they're gonna be chomping a bit. But then you're like, well, we got to get the people back in. So you gotta, even if you get them, then you still got to fill the fill the place.
Yeah, and even now, I mean, this we're booking steadily for this year and even into 2023.
That's nice.
So it feels good. There's still some trepidation though, even on the tour sides, when you have these touring companies who pour a whole lot of money into, they invest money into buying an entire tour, for example. They're not feeling the safest with their investment with other variants out there still. I really do think things are waning in terms of severity, but
all right. So from an outsider, talk to me about that. You said buying a tour. So like, how does that actually work? Like, does an act like go through and buy their way into tours? I don't understand how that.
It can work a myriad ways, really. Especially with your larger, more notable acts, kind of at the apex of their careers. A lot of times they'll be approached by a national or international promotional firm, which will essentially purchase their tour. They'll oversimplifying it a bit, but they'll basically pay the artist a flat fee for X amount of shows.
Cool.
Yeah, it kind of simplifies things in some regards. But either way, it's a big risk, whether the artist maintains ownership of that tour or somebody else does. It's just mounting a tour of any size really is quite an undertaking.
I can't even imagine. With the Clare Brothers in town. So
Sure.
those who don't or watch this don't know who Clare Brothers are. There's this giant juggernaut of entertainment company based in Lancaster County. It's like crazy to even think, And now they got that Rock Lidditz and everything else. Well, I used to live up there, and I would see these trailer after trailer after trailer of just like Pink or somebody, Taylor Swift or whatever, because the whole act's going through. So that's a big animal to move, and I can't imagine like what it takes to organize a tour and the all the people involved, the artists, and keep everybody fed.
Sure.
From the the artists clear down to the the viewers.
Yeah, it really is an entire ecosystem that this industry is that it relies on everybody from artists to management to promoters to venue owners to of course down to the patron, the ticket buyer.
Yeah. All right. So I got to ask, good stories? Got anything you can?
Good story.
Obviously, I don't know. Ask for the juicy stuff, right? Like, there's got to be, there got to be some things you got to keep behind the scenes. But was any cool? Like, did you have any? Were you starstruck at all, or have been starstruck lately?
Well, no. I tell you, it's funny. I guess I've been kind of working in and out of this industry
16
now. And I actually worked for Clare Brothers for a number of years.
Okay.
Was on the road doing that thing for a while. So I'd say the shine wears off of celebrity pretty quickly. They're just. I'm just always enthralled by people doing anything really, really well, and there's some
that is
some acts out there. Old Crow Medicine Show, it just comes to mind. They were just here this past fall. Absolute stunning musicianship, just and performance. Some shows like that, I could sit and watch for days. Just fantastic, and we love kind of finding those. Some sell really well, some don't. Honestly, of course, we try to pick the ones that sell well because it's a business. But that was one that came to mind recently.
So, is there any surprising acts that have like a huge, crazy following? Like anything, it's like you wouldn't believe. Like you would think this name, and then they just got like these crazy, like Parrot Heads. You know what I mean? Like those guys will show up to anything.
So a couple. Johnny Mathis is one.
Okay. I can see that.
Okay. Yeah. And he has a following that travels almost globally.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't want to speak disparagingly of them at all, but they're an interesting bunch.
They're artists. Come on.
Yeah, they're an interesting bunch. He's got some real hardcore followers.
Oh, you're talking to followers, or they're interesting?
Oh, I'm talking to followers. No, Johnny and his crew are awesome. They're incredible.
Hey man, any follower of any band who's like hardcore, there's always some wild ones there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're getting on an airplane. Come to see a show. More power to you. Awesome. I love seeing it.
Yeah, man. So hey, not to change subject, but I was on the website obviously to check out everything else, and so tell me about membership. I didn't really, I obviously knew you can come and see the shows and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, what's the membership all about?
Yeah, something again that kind of started at the onset when we were kind of just looking at theatrical productions, musicals, and things like that. It made sense, and really went well. It really offered a great opportunity for the ticket buyer. So we've kind of always stuck with it, and it's translated well into our concert programming. Different levels of membership. Your base level is the AMT annual membership. It's $75 for your family.
Oh, that's awesome.
For the year.
Yeah.
And that gets you pre-sale opportunity. So any concert that we go on sale with, have usually 3-4 days before it's publicly on sale to purchase. So good crack at seats early. You get service fees waived, as well as discounts at concession stand or a gift shop or any of that stuff. Just a way to kind of nurture relationship with our patrons. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
You have also a platinum and a gold member levels as well. Right. I can't talk about those.
That's a secret. Yeah, there's secret door entrances and everything else. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, those you have reserved seats. If you're a platinum or a gold member, you have a pair of seats that are yours. You have first right of refusal on your 2 seats.
That's awesome.
Like first or second row. So yeah.
I was gonna say I was gonna offer you some bourbon like offline. Like, hey, we'll sit down and I'll get the true story. We still do that, right? Yeah,
we do.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, I want to definitely bring up the website too, because obviously the website's a great tool here.
Oh, excellent! Yeah,
I'm assuming everybody can go online and get their tickets off there. Is that where primarily people are getting?
amtshows.com. And I gotta say, man, get your tickets on our website or call our box office. There's a problem in the industry right now with third-party resellers, scalpers, if you will.
Yeah.
Especially with the ease of access with online ticket buying and such. I mean, anybody can go onto our website and buy tickets.
Yeah.
Now they can immediately take those tickets and post them online through, 100 different reseller sites.
Yeah.
For double, triple the amount.
Wow.
And all they need is a few people unaware enough to assume that's what the ticket costs and buy it off of them. And not a lot we can do other than continually try to educate folks to buy tickets directly from the origin.
So you're talking about we're getting the best prices at this point. If you go on the line, you're getting probably the seat selection is going to be, that's integrated, I'm assuming, into the process.
Yep. Accurate seat selection, you'll get the absolute best prices purchasing directly. There's no better deals out there. And you also be in our database, not so we can bug you, but in the event there is a change to the lineup, if the show gets postponed, if anything happens, we can reach out to you and let you know. Which is not the case if you buy off of Vivid Seats, StubHub, or whatever.
I get the emails, and I don't feel like they're overly. They're not set. They're not. I don't feel like I'm getting too many. I feel like they're very informative each time I see one. So
we try to keep it to bare bones. Here's what you need to know.
Exactly. Here's the acts.
Maybe we're not good salesmen. Saleswoman.
No. Just
not trying to be
perfect amount. Yeah, that's perfect, man. So, man, I don't want to take more of your time. Honestly, this has been awesome. I really appreciate you coming on and talking to me about this. And PA Business Spotlight. It is it is sponsored by Smoker and Company, which is a CPA firm here in Lancaster County. They have about 5 offices, and right now it's tax season, so they're humming along, right? They're ready to hum and go along. But they also have a legal arm. They have a debt collection arm. They have wealth management. So there's a lot of really cool things going on with Smoker. And they just thought, would this be a great way of reaching out to some of the folks here in the area? And since we're a local based company, we wanted to spotlight other companies that are doing things well. So for those who are watching, this is going to be on a regular basis. Check back on the page here, and hopefully you'll bookmark it, because we're going to have some really cool interviews coming up and over the next weeks and months, and so on and so forth. So Grant, again, man, I can't thank you enough for coming on and
thank you, and Smoker and Company as well. This is just a great format here. Really appreciate it.
Well, appreciate it. We'll do a little bourbon drinking offline, but
that sounds good.
for today, thanks again for coming on, and everybody. Hopefully, you'll check